And everyone's gonna be like, what?
Everyone is going to be like, what?
I did. I did say that Martin Luther King was a communist, or at least he went to
Oh my God, you can't say that.
communist training camps.
He did.
So did, what's the lady's name?
Hillary Clinton.
No.
Martha Stewart.
No,
I'm just going to keep naming names.
the black chick that sat on the front of the bus.
Beyonce Knowles.
No. Didn't sit in the back of the bus.
Oh, Rosa Parks.
Rosa Parks. She went to it too.
Well, yeah, because they're all her seats. Why would she? If you're a communist and you're sitting on a bus,
Yeah.
they're all your seats then. Right?
That's true.
Isn't that the theory behind communism?
But they also-
What's yours is mine?
But they also chose Rosa Parks because she was a light-skinned black woman.
Yeah.
And the police would be less likely to be physical with her because she had white features and she was light-skinned.
That sounds so weird to say, white features.
That's why African Americans don't look like Africans.
Yeah. That's why
Bone structure is completely changed.
Different.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so
Freedom. 350.
where the issues aren't black or white, but for all Americans, because it's about liberty and content of character, right?
Freedom. Truth.
This episode, as you can tell, we've corrected our
History?
audio problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we corrected it a while ago. It's just because we filmed so many episodes ahead.
What the problem was is I thought I was recording, but
He wasn't.
I don't know, I was recording, but it was recording off the
wrong microphone.
Yeah, the computer's microphone, not the nice microphones and sound mixer that we have.
Yeah, so we were basically back to
Idiots.
2010.
Yeah. So this episode's going to be on
Another race topic.
no,
kind of. I mean, it is. It is a little.
a little bit.
Because it's more about immigration.
Yeah, birthright citizenship.
Yeah. Do you have the right to be here if you're born to non-citizens?
Yeah. Well, I think it gets into muddy waters when it's like maybe they've legally come over, they're not permanent residents.
Right, like on a visa or something like that.
I think that there could be things that you could do to attain citizenship if that's the case. But for an illegal immigrant from whatever country, I don't care if it's from Canada or...
You know what I get annoyed about is whenever people bring up the topic of immigrants, they default to Mexico as if they're the only ones trying to sneak into the country.
I mean, you don't have to be born in the United States to be a citizen. If your parents,
That's true. If your parents are American, yeah.
And they have you overseas,
abroad, yeah.
You're still an American citizen, you know? Now, technically, you probably could go for dual citizenship if you're in some other country that, allows that, but...
But the concept of citizenship is interesting and unique. I never really looked at it until I was forced to for college.
It's a job.
Yeah,
it's a responsibility.
Yeah, it is a responsibility. Everyone wants to claim a citizenship, right? But yet, as soon as, I don't know, we have to stick with the American ideals here, because so I identify as American, right?
Yeah.
I won't. If they ask you what race are you, I'll just say American. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, when you ask some other people that, they'll be like, "Oh, well, I'm Puerto Rican, or I'm Mexican, I don't know, where else? African," right? They're gonna pick all these other places, or Korean, Japan, whatever. They're gonna pick all these other places because they don't identify as an American.
They'll say they're Mexican American,
right?
Or
Like
this
it's a hyphen.
American.
It's a hyphen.
And then when they protest or whatever, they always got their flag,
their
flag,
other flag. Yeah.
It's like,
so instead of asking what's best for America, right? They're gonna be like, "Oh, my people are being attacked, and I don't know the full story, so I just need to side with them."
Yeah.
And I have a problem with that. So should you be giving citizenship to those people? Because I think everybody needs to take a citizenship test.
Yeah.
Because with citizenship comes the responsibility of voting. And that is more dangerous than firing a gun into a public crowd. Because who we elect into office can cause a lot of damage.
Ripples in decades.
Yeah. And it can ultimately not be undone. We're fortunate that prohibition was ended.
Yeah.
Right? But let's say in an alternate universe, prohibition's still going on. Like those people that enacted the prohibition against public opinion, they ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what drove, I think that's what intensified mob problems was during Prohibition era. Because along with Prohibition came like...
That was the start of the rise of...
Capone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then, you know, like full autos and short-barreled shotguns and all that, and all these other bullshit side effects from outlawing alcohol, like, came from that event. Right, we're talking about, should you have the right to citizenship?
If you're watching the normal episode, it may seem like we just, like, cut out a lot there. And we did cut out a lot because that's going to be on the tangents.
Yeah.
But the tangents are only available to patrons for, the first month or so.
Yeah.
And you won't get to see the episode's tangents for a while unless you want to head over to the Patreon page and
support the show
with just $1. That's all. That's all you need, just $1. I mean, if all the subscribers I had for my my gun channel, 50%, were to be
supporting the show,
supporting it with $1,
afford tape to tape up the foam on the wall instead of having them fall down every episode.
We would be able to complete the wall with the soundproofing foam.
Yeah,
we could afford a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
this would actually be a full-time job,
and I would love it.
Yeah,
because it's, as a disabled veteran, it would be something I could do.
Yeah.
But getting back to the whole citizenship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the whole sparked the whole conversation. I never made my point about, because the school made me forced to look at the concept of citizenship. Is should everybody even have it? And I came to the conclusion that no. I truly think that the only people that need to have citizenship are those who actually care.
Those that actually care and possibly have something to lose.
Right. And if we look at what the founding fathers had given voting rights to, it was landowners.
Yeah.
And veterans that fought for, business owners.
And see, the thing is
anybody that had invested in America.
Yeah, but the main portion of that being landowners, the main portion is going to be white. And, you know, you got your social justice warriors that just want to point to how
it was only meant for white people.
Yeah, it's not
like,
really.
No, not really. It was meant for people who were invested in the nation.
America is not a white... I don't believe America is a white country.
I don't think so.
It's predominantly white.
Sure.
That's okay. But it's an ideal.
Yeah, I mean, I think you are what America looks like. I've said this before, like, because you're black and you're white and you're mixed, you are what the future of America looks like. Yeah. It's like Brazil, because they got mixed in with the Germans, the Africans, and the local natives.
A lot of Africans. That's why they all got the big booties.
Right, but they have a very unique look, right? And
you need a thong song.
Thong, 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 thong. Well, we'd have to pay for that, wouldn't we, because of Cisco?
I'll sing it.
Okay.
You do the beat, I'll sing it. Not right.
Oh, okay. Later. Okay. But yeah, so when we look at like Obama, he is an American. He's like the first, I guess you could say, real American to take office potentially, barring the whole whatever side of the debate you are on, if he's American born or not. And then that even ties into what we're talking about. But
well, see, when it comes to that American born thing, I think Obama was born in Hawaii. Whatever. I don't think he was born in Kenya.
That doesn't really make sense anyways.
Yeah, but the thing is when he went to Indonesia and lived there as a kid, to go to the public schools there, you had to renounce your citizenship, I think.
Maybe.
And
but does a kid have the ability to renounce citizenship?
Exactly. So when he came back, right, blah, 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 and then the whole birther issue came out. The only part of the birther issue that I had problems with, well, I had problems with all of it, but then I kind of like did a, when the White House released the birth certificate. What it was supposed to have been is someone just put it in a Xerox copier, copied it, and just uploaded the file.
But it had PDF layers.
Yeah, it had layers.
It was photoshopped. Yeah.
So it's like,
I remember downloading it.
And then all the writing had this white outline ghosting, like it was put there. It wasn't written.
Yeah, like it was cut off of some other documents. Yeah.
Almost like it was a PNG, and they just kind of moved it and placed it. So it's like, that's not a pen. That's not a check mark, Why does that E, that typewriter E, look like that typewriter E? Because every time you strike it, it's different, You could just do a whole page of E's or whatever letter, and each E is going to have a different splatter pattern or whatever.
Right, because of the way the typewriter worked with the ink.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how it's mechanical and how
it
might strike it just off
yeah,
from the last time.
Yeah.
But all of them were like the same. You look at all letters, you find it again, it's the same thing. So for them to say it's that and to release that, it's like, come on, you're just fanning the flames of this conspiracy. Like, oh my God, he's not really American, you know?
And maybe that's what they wanted, those to distract people.
Probably.
Because I could understand too if his birth certificate had like a coffee stain or something and it was hard to read, and they just enhanced it.
Or he lost it.
And they had to reproduce it. Yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Those would have been viable, logical answers. Like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But I never was in the camp of he's not an American, because to get to that point, you have to be vetted so far.
Well, if you
know what I mean? Like,
when
you know, people you have to go through to get to that point.
When it comes to was he an American or not? Like, again, I think that comes down to mindset and ideals.
Yeah.
His mentor when he was growing up was Frank Marshall Davis, which I kind of think was his actual father. If you look at Frank Marshall Davis, he's got the Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Complexion.
The age spots, the age, you know, he's got those, and now so does Obama.
But that could just be freckles from Obama's white side.
I don't think so, man. I think, I mean, Frank Marshall Davis was a pornographer too back when it was illegal, and that's how he made his money for the Communist Party, because I think he was a leader.
See,
he was
that's
a chapter leader.
That makes sense too for Obama, because he was very pro-communism, and a lot of what he did was very pro-communism. Yeah. And people wonder why the Russians were interfering. Well, he was pro-communism.
Yeah, I mean, there's pornographic pictures that Frank Marshall Davis took back then, and a few of them actually have Obama's mother in them. And that's kind of like, you know, come on, you're gonna take pictures, probably gonna do something too.
Yeah.
So whatever. But
yeah,
birthright citizenship, like
the concept of citizenship. Yeah.
So if, like my mother and my father, they're American born, right?
Yeah.
So I'm born here, birthright citizenship. Should it really be my birthright to be able to, all right, now I can vote when I'm 18? When you're 18, you're not there yet.
Shit at 18.
You got to be one mature kid.
Yeah.
To be, you got to be like a Ben Shapiro. You know what that is?
Yeah, I know Ben Shapiro, yeah.
You got to be like a Ben Shapiro to be like, oh, yep, I'm going to do this the right way and, know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, who I'm voting in office and everything.
Yeah.
So. Because
I thought I was pretty mature on my first election, and I didn't know fully. I mean, the internet wasn't as good as it is today, but it was still a lot better than when I was a kid, right? So, like, I researched as much as I could, but there was no real way to, like, verify what I was finding back then.
Well, for me, like, because I joined right out of high school, right? So
yeah, I did too.
Yeah, so out of high school, I'm in the Army. I get told by my higher ups, most of the Army, about 98% of the Army votes Republican because they give us pay raises. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I was kind of raised with, like, the conservative Republican ideals.
Yeah.
My dad was one of those few black Republicans in the 80s,
We are not a monolith.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to find that.
The Key and Peele Black Republicans?
Yeah, let's watch it.
That is hilarious. We are not a monolith. No, sir. Fix your belt.
So, yeah, so that was like 2 strikes. I'm like, okay, well, where's the 3rd strike? So I could just, go out and vote Republican. I forget what it was, but my first time voting, I went out and vote. And what's funny is I didn't understand. Like, you go vote for this big election. Well, there's also 50 other little small elections.
Like, what is this? What is this?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sitting there like, I don't
know what to vote here.
I don't know who these people are.
I'm so glad they write incumbent on the ticket, because that's my policy now. If you're an incumbent, off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There needs to be term limits for Congress.
There needs to be term limits, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm not a guy that votes to a party line. I used to be. I used to just go Republican, and then I started disagreeing with things the Republican Party was doing because I'm an individual. And this is when like the libertarians started moving up, and I was like, yes, they're saying everything I agree with so far.
Yeah.
So they're not 100% a match, but when I look at what else is offered, that's the closest thing to the way I am.
The closest person to be 100% match of my ideals of what I would like for this country was Ron Paul.
That's exactly, Ron Paul.
Like, Ron, I can't,
You can't vote twice, I know.
But no, not that. Like, yeah, I think like maybe 98 or 99% of everything that he stood for, I was like, boom,
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to, again, like vote straight Republican, and I voted for Bush.
I voted for Bush too.
And when 9/11 happened, when we started going over to Afghanistan and Iraq, that was my red pill.
Yeah.
When it comes to politics, I started, taking a step back. Like, first off, why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
What did these people do? They didn't do anything. It was one person. So why are we going to go to war over that? I didn't even know about the whole oil pipeline thing that was right before that. But
yeah. But a lot of the nation had blinders on too, because I remember it was kind of a good time to be an American. It sounds terrible to say that, but the post-tragedy, like, there were flags everywhere. Everyone was nice and courteous to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were an Arab in America, I feel bad for you because, we probably didn't treat them the best, but it's no different than we did the Japanese too.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you just looked like the enemy at the time. Like,
it's no different than any country treats any other enemy at that time.
True.
It's always going to be like a racial undertone.
Yeah.
Or like back in World War II, it wasn't an undertone. It was
overt. Yeah, they were rounding them up.
The Bugs Bunny cartoons, the World War II Bugs Bunny cartoons, the Looney Tunes, like, you can't really find them anymore.
Yeah, because they were
racist.
They were racist. Yeah.
They were hilarious. Like,
they were funny. Yeah.
If you can't find the comedy in that, but even though it was racist, it's still funny. I mean, whatever. You can't find those today.
No, they couldn't. No one even put them on YouTube now.
No. We went to one store and there was supposed to be a complete collection. They didn't have them.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you try to erase history?
Yeah.
That's a problem. Because it's weird too. Like, over here, people were freaking out about like the Confederate statues, forgetting that they were still Americans that fought for something, and we need to retain that lesson learned of the Civil War.
A lot of people don't feel that
Confederates were Americans.
They don't feel that Confederate veterans or the ones that died should be in like military cemeteries or should be considered veterans.
Well, I mean, they're not alive today anymore, but
but
I understand. Yeah. I think that they would be because they went to war and they all were Americans, and it was.
Well, that's what the whole Reconstruction effort was about. I mean, everyone says, "Oh, well, all these statues were put up during the Jim Crow era." Well, a lot were, but a lot weren't. I mean, what goes into making these statues? Back in the day, it took a little bit.
Yeah, it took a while to build up. Yeah,
you gotta get an artist. He's got to come up with
sculpt
something.
It, and then they got to cast it. Yeah.
They got to approve it. They got to pay for it. They have to put it up. That's what happens. Don't go tearing stuff down. I mean,
because over in Europe, like when I went to Poland and I went to the actual concentration camp, there's nobody over there asking to tear it down, build on it, because I know
it's a reminder.
It is. It's a huge reminder, and dude.
Now, see,
stuff like that it was creepy to walk around,
yeah.
And when I saw like the actual gas chamber and then the claw marks from human bone into the cement, and it was pretty stout cement, like that was enough for me to go, yeah, never again, right?
Yeah,
and that's the type of stuff we need to continue forward. But
the thing is with the difference between the Confederate monuments and like Dachau and all the other concentration camps over there is. They were kind of seen as like heroes. Like the statues are like hero-esque, and it's not saying anything bad about the people, but you got to understand what the Reconstruction effort was. It was trying to bring the country back together.
Right?
I mean, that's why all the army posts in America are named after Confederate generals. Campbell, Hood,
Bragg.
Yeah. It was a way to bring the South back in
into
the
fold.
union.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you guys lost. Okay, well, we need to show you guys some, hey, we still like you, you know?
Right.
And I think that's something that should stay around.
So how long before they start changing Fort Campbell's name?
Oh, yeah.
You know, like, is that where we're headed? Because, like, you can tear down all the shit, but you'll never tear away the history.
I don't think Fort Huachuca.
No, I don't think that was
I don't think he was a Confederate.
I don't think he was a Confederate general. No. We could Google it. Was he a Confederate? That's so stupid.
I'll look it up and I'll put a little pop-up.
Yeah. The little Confederate hat.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to illegal aliens, like people coming here illegally just to have a
the
kid.
X-Files queued up for that. Aliens.
So, like, for them to come and just have what the term is, anchor baby.
Yeah, anchor
right?
babies, yeah. I don't think that if you are having a child, that goes back to my previous statement too, is that nobody should be a citizen by birth. Not to say that they don't have constitutional rights as a human,
Yeah.
but to be like voter capable citizen, you need to serve or pass a citizenship test, which would include, you know, the nation's history, where we come from, the same citizenship test that we give to the people that want to naturalize.
Yeah.
Because I took it and I passed, so I think it's definitely doable. It's all the same shit they teach you in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's watch this video clip of what they have to say. It's CBS This Morning.
Communist bullshit this morning? Is that what CBS stands for?
Communist bullshit.
That one might catch on.
Isn't that like Oprah's friend?
Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah. I think
You know, I would
Oprah's
like to say I know, but I really don't.
I think she got into all this because she's Oprah's friend. Oprah.
And you get a news anchor spot, and you get a news anchor spot.
Oh, did she have one of those episodes where she gave a news anchor spots?
She gave away so much bullshit.
She did.
And all she was doing is tax evasion.
And you know, well, no, I don't even think that. I don't even think she paid for that shit.
No, she didn't.
I think it was just advertising for those companies, the things that she was giving, the cars and stuff.
Yeah, with like 30 cars just like that. You know what's sad though? Is those people that would go to the shows. It's like the same thing happened to Price is Right in the beginning. Like the people couldn't afford the taxes.
Oh yeah.
So like there are people who legitimately were forced to pay taxes on something, and they couldn't afford it.
They don't have the savings to afford paying the taxes on a $30,000 car.
They just were getting slapped with, you have now a debt from the U.S. government, and they didn't get the car either.
No.
We're all here. We're going to begin with this. President Trump is considering a radical change to American immigration law just ahead of the midterm elections. In an interview with Axios website, the president said he wants to end birthright citizenship, which is guaranteed under the 14th Amendment to the Constitution.
Now, how ridiculous. We're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States for 85 years with all of those benefits. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And it has to end.
Have you talked about that with council?
Yeah, I have.
So where in the process?
It's in the process. It'll happen.
Is that a British dude?
With an executive order. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
a very
exactly what I'm
interesting.
talking about.
I didn't think anybody knew that but me. I thought I was the only one.
According to PolitiFact, 33 countries offer birthright citizenship. Jim Vandehei, CEO and co-founder of Axios, was part of that interview with the president for the upcoming Axios on HBO. He's with us from Washington. Jim, good morning.
What's up with his eyes?
Yeah, you
I'm
see the
doing
lights?
okay.
Yeah.
So there's election a week away, and the president is talking about this. Is this a serious policy proposal by the president, or is this something?
No,
he'd like
nothing
to
the
get
president
into a
says is ever
constitutional
serious.
debate about for a
What a
week
stupid
to keep the
statement.
focus on a topic that he thinks works for him politically?
Right. I think it's something he wants to do. He clearly was surprised in the interview that Swan's reporting had figured out that he'd been talking to White House counsel about this. I think politically he wants to keep all of the emphasis on sending troops to the border to guard against this caravan that's probably several months away from hitting our...
Now, stopping there and talking about the sending troops to the border.
Yeah.
Like, that's not really that new.
No, that's something that we've
National
been
Guard
doing.
does it, but I remember.
Well, I don't know if they do.
Yeah, not to the extent that what's happening now, but I remember before I came to regiment, I was in 1st Cav in Fort Hood, and we deployed quite a few times to El Paso, Texas, to Fort Bliss.
Yeah.
Before Fort Bliss was built up again, it was pretty much just
It's just a shithole.
yeah. Yeah, we did the what was it, JTF 6? No, I think it was JTF 6. That's what they called it back then. And we were assisting the Border Patrol in monitoring the border. Now, with the Posse Comitatus law, we can't police within our borders, right?
Yeah.
All we can do is assist police, and that's what the aviation units do. We assist with, the FLIR,
Sure.
forward-looking radar, for those that you don't know. And, we would monitor at night, and we'd fly during the day. And with Blackhawks, my unit, we didn't have the FLIR like the Apaches did.
See, this is where I have a problem. It's like our military is designed for defense.
Yeah.
So why can't we defend our own borders? Because it's not policing in America if you're defending a border.
Well, see, it gets muddy once you get so far into the country, it's kind of muddy to where, like,
in my opinion, it's still a military function, because if you and I just showed up in a foreign country, that's technically an act of war, right, under international law, because we have invaded that nation's sovereignty, right? So if we get these people coming across our borders, whether it's from Canada or Mexico, it makes no difference, because that's technically acts of war. That should be military authority. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Which means we would have no more immigration problem if we just, let Apaches do what they do.
But we were actually, it was my my mission that kind of muddied the waters even a little bit further, is the fact that because we were, a hawk unit, we didn't have FLIR, so we were really just aerial
spotters, yeah.
Aerial spotters, Overwatch, and we would transport, guys from point A to point B,
yeah.
Quickly. And then one time we were flying down the Rio Grande, and we saw a family, they were a family of like 4, 2 kids and two adults, and they were fishing. And then, if you've never seen the Rio Grande, in some areas it's not so grand. In some areas it's like a creek.
Yeah, very shallow.
So it was one of those areas where it was kind of shallow, and you're not going to do any good fishing there, right? But they were fishing, and as we're flying by, the Border Patrol guy, he was on comms. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're just looking out."
Yep.
So fly down out of sight, kind of slowly, and then once we're out of sight, how fast can this thing go? And our pilot's like, "Oh, you want us to go fast?" He's like, "Yeah, go fast, head back, and then land as quickly as you can if they're actually trying to put something over the border." Sure enough, we turn around, like, collective up in the armpit, cyclic forward fast as we could. We get there. Sure enough, there's a blazer trying to go across.
Go through? Wow.
Yep. And they were in the middle of the water when they saw us. The guys got out and just took off, back to the Mexican side, and kept running. Got into the station wagon of that family, and then they drove off. And as we were coming down, it did like an aerosol landing, and it was pretty pumped up for regular Army at that time. And the one pack we had, gets out, his gun drawn. He gets in the water, goes to the vehicle, ends up driving the vehicle onto American soil. Looks at it, chock full of coke.
Oh man, good drug bust.
The wheels, chock full. All the fenders, chock full.
Wow.
The back of the Blazer, chocked full. It was a really good bust. But then we weren't really supposed to be assisting with a bust like that,
Well, it just kind of worked out that way.
It did. And I think the unit got a plaque from the Border Patrol that we were helping for that.
See, I don't know. Is that really a police action when you're trying to prevent something from entering the country?
And they weren't citizens.
Yeah. To me, that's still a defense action. That's military all the days.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like, instead of maintaining these bases overseas, if we just brought all that firepower back to our borders, our immigration problem would go down.
Oh, yeah.
Not saying it would be perfect, but you would definitely deter a lot more people.
You would?
And then we'd have a lot more infrastructure to work with to protect the borders.
That goes back to Ron Paul's ideals, bring all the troops home,
go
close
back
all
to
the bases.
isolationism.
Well, not really.
I don't think any nation outside of America deserves our money. Period.
Yeah, I don't think it would be isolationist, because it's kind of hard in the modern day to be an isolationist country, unless you're North Korea. I mean, that's like the last country.
They do it, yeah.
It's crazy. But
I mean, we could definitely be like a Switzerland, where like we don't fuck with people, we stop getting involved in stuff. Like, good luck, guys.
It's not our responsibility to make sure that your people
are fed.
Yeah, are fed, are
because
defended.
we have our own people here in America that need food, and that aggravates the fuck out of me.
Let's get back to that video.
Then you can get away with it. We have a 14th Amendment, which basically it states pretty clearly that if you're born here on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen. And he says, I don't even need to go to Congress to change this. I can use my executive power to do it.
Well, see, isn't one of the president's duties is to maintain our borders, right?
Yeah, it's part of his job description.
So, I don't know. Maybe there is a way.
Oh boy.
A lot of people are saying that it is not possible, and it will have to be go through Congress and all this stuff.
I think people need to just take a chill it and look back at like what the president is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And then he's supposed to be checked and balanced by Congress and the Senate and the judicial branch, right? So we got 3 major branches.
Like if he does this executive order, it'll probably go to the judicial.
It would have to, for review to see if it's lawful. So.
And would he have enough votes?
And that's up for debate on the houses. Like let it go. Like why should we stop a president from doing something that may be good and beneficial? Because I think Trump brings up a good point when he said, they show up, they have a kid, and then they're here for 85 years, owed benefits. And that's true because they get a social security number then, and then we owe them welfare programs because I'm sure that family can't afford to feed the child or whatever, because now it's a U.S. citizen, so now we have to foot that bill, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's thinking like worst case scenario that if this family that shows up has a kid, they're not going to be able to work a job legally, right? Because they're not U.S. citizens, so they can't file taxes. They didn't get a visa, most likely. So they're not paying into the program that they're drawing from.
True.
And we have more people drawing from a program than people putting in. It should be really simple economics. Like even a third grader should understand if I put $5 into a piggy bank and yet $20 needs to get withdrawn, I'm in debt.
You're gonna run out of money.
You're gonna run out of Like I think most children today can understand that concept. So why is it the adults here have a problem with this?
Because of compassion and wanting to be the do-gooders.
Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
What did they do? This is where like an arrogant veteran comes out of me, because like what did they do to want to be that compassionate? What have you done to be compassionate? At least you and I can say we went and fought a war.
See
technically.
Also, the thing is, I think that more Americans need to travel abroad.
For sure, dude.
They need a reality check.
Yeah. Instead of living in this bubble.
Yeah. Like we in America, we say that people live in bubbles. You got your left bubble and your right bubble, right?
Yeah.
But both of those bubbles are under the American
bubble,
the Western civilization bubble.
Oh, I went to Cancun this summer, or I went to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Like that's not far enough.
Yeah. Well, Niagara Falls, there's a U.S. side, but if you go to just Canada side, you know what I'm saying?
It's like,
but even going to Cancun, you're probably gonna. I mean, it's pretty dangerous there now. You're probably gonna just be in an all-inclusive resort, and you're not gonna really see Cancun.
You're not gonna experience
Mexico.
Like when I was down in South America conducting operations, I saw shanties.
Yeah.
And I saw how real people lived, 4 or 5 generations in a small little house the size of this room. Yeah, it's eye-opening. So Iraq and Afghanistan, people live in those mud huts.
Yeah,
that's eye-opening.
Northern Afghanistan, holy crap! Like, literally, a mud hut. Like, what? Like
one part proud as like a human, like holy fuck, that's cool. You built a house out of mud, like that's crazy.
But like,
and then again, another part is like,
it's 2000 blank, and you're.
Why are you living this way?
Yeah.
Just go down to Home Depot and get some wood, dude.
Yeah. And we're back.
Freedom.
We had a little technical difficulty.
Batteries run out.
Yeah, the audio recorder that this smooth, sweet, silky sound of our voices is being recorded on, the batteries ran out because I, like a dumbass, I don't have the power cord.
Adapter.
Yeah, I don't have that plugged in, so it just went out.
These are all learning points.
They
are. We would stop repeating the same ones if we, I don't know, wrote them down.
Or
Yeah.
had somebody else to.
Yeah, 3 up, 3 down, 3 sustain.
Ooh.
Ooh, I slipped it in there on you.
You did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and comment if you are aware of what I just did. It's after action review for you privates who don't really understand it yet, but
We could do the same thing with cargo restraint.
oh, that's true. That's true.
How many G's forward? How many G's right to left? Up, down?
Oh, I want to say it's 12-10. 12-10-5.
I thought it was 6. Was it 6?
Oh, shit. It's been so long.
Yeah. It's been longer for me.
Yeah, I know.
I can only say, what are they?
What do you mean you don't know? Look it up in a book.
Exactly.
If you've ever been told to look it up in a book, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, share.
What about it?
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook.
Yeah. We got
Follow us on the Twitter.
Twitter.
Yeah, so we want you to stalk all our socials. Don't stalk us in real life.
Yeah. Stalk us in real life, you might get shot.
You'll get counter-stalked. Ooh, counter-stalking. That should be a thing.
That should be.
Yeah.
That'd be really. That would. Counter stalking. Okay, first of all, being a stalker is kind of creepy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
If a stalker gets stalked by the person he's stalking,
Would that creep them out?
it sure fucking should.
Yeah. I'm stalking you, buddy. Well, no, I'm supposed to be in your bushes creeping. Yeah, but I'm right here with you.
Exactly.
I'm here with you trying to watch me through the window. Ooh.
How are you in two places at one time?
He doesn't know I have a twin brother.
Oh.
Was he?
That's like that
That's
movie.
the thing.
What's
yeah.
that movie?
Yeah.
The magician movie?
Illusionist?
No, it's
Mentalist.
no,
It's an illusion.
the
Yeah, it's Hugh Jackman, right?
Hugh Jackman. He's
he's the magician,
and then
and he's
Christian
going up
Bale.
against,
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
And they even say it in the very beginning of the movie. They put it out there. Oh, it must have been a double, or something like that.
In the very beginning scene, they put it out there, and then you watch the whole hour 45 to find out that what they said in the beginning was what it was.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But you don't remember the beginning, so you're like, oh, M. Night Shyamalan.
Because you get invested in the story and the characters, and yeah,
That's a good film.
it is a good film.
It is.
Film.
Now we're gonna get back to that video that we started like a long time ago.
It's a pretty legally dubious claim, but he says, no, I've got people that say I can. And by the way, he has stacked the courts with a lot of conservatives, and I think some of his confidence might come from that. And the thing with
Stack the courts with a lot of conservatives.
Is that
But
a
there's
bad
only-
thing?
But
Is that a
there's-
bad thing that people want to conserve
but
America?
there's only one court that really matters when it comes to his
That's
decisions.
right. Judge Judy.
Never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's two then.
Judge Joe Mathis. Judge Joe Brown.
No,
All great judges.
Mathis and Brown. They're brown though.
So?
This is a racist country. Trump is racist and fascist.
That's right, he is.
So
Let's take a look at the stats of Trump fascism. What has he done that's fascist?
nothing.
What has he done that's racist?
Nothing. Even though people like to go back to when he had properties in
1980s?
yeah, and the lawsuit that got brought
Yeah.
up. But it wasn't just Trump's properties. It was properties all over
All over the place.
Manhattan
yeah.
and New York.
Yeah.
Trump didn't micromanage those properties, you know,
He was too busy on the golf course in Florida. West
or
Palm.
building Trump
Yeah.
Tower or
Something, yeah.
the Trump Taj Mahal crap.
I read that Trump is the guy that gets like 3 to 4 hours of sleep a night
Yeah,
because he's just always doing something. And he has his hands in so many cookie jars that he needed more time in the day to do shit.
he tweets at like what?
3?
Yeah,
It's like 3 in the morning he's tweeting. What the fuck are you doing, man?
it's like that's not a fun grandpa, man.
No, dude.
Your grandpa's supposed to fall asleep on the couch
Yeah.
and you do stuff to him and stuff, but no, he'd be awake the whole time.
Hey,
He'd be asleep. He'd
hey,
do stuff
get
to
up.
you.
I bought you a Lego set. I want it built. And it better say Trump.
All the pieces are gold.
Golden Lego bricks.
Can you close that door? I think that door is giving us
Extra tone.
yeah.
How far can I get with the headset on?
Just use your Foot.
Use my other arm.
I think that's a that's Janet. First off, that's barking. They should stop barking. And second, you made an arm joke with
Yeah,
your other arm.
my other arm.
Yeah, I don't have another arm.
I know.
I only got my spare
You're way better at swimming than me, though.
in circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the pool and I was like, "Can I still swim?" And I found out because I'm fatter, I'm a lot more buoyant than I used to be. I used to be able to easily just lay on the bottom of the pool
Yeah.
and just chill out. Now it's like I got
You have to work to get under the water.
yeah. But I can.
Makes
do
me
the
wonder
up-
how like walruses and sea lions do it, because they're mostly blubber and fat. Like, how the fuck do they get under the water?
They probably have like I don't know. They don't have like a bladder like fish,
Yeah.
the float bladder or whatever. But anyways, I forget what I was saying.
Freedom 350.
Oh yeah,
We were making fun of President.
Trump.
Yeah.
That's not a good freeze frame for him.
Oh, or is it the best for the communist bullshit news network?
You never know. Is this an idea that's been floating around in his head and he'll actually act on it at some point? I would say when it comes to immigration, he does feel, he believes this stuff. Even when everyone else says you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, no other president would do that, he still does it.
Well, Jim went back and looked, and actually in August 2015, when the president rolled out his immigration policy, in fact, he said he would do that. He wanted to end birthright citizenship. So this has been part of his plan on immigration for the very beginning. Arguably, it was all there for voters to see at the time. But to John's point, if it's been part of his plan for the whole time, why is he just bringing it up now, 1 week before?
She held up the notes that were highlighted. Make sure you mention this right here, that it was in his plans when he was getting elected.
She's also getting fit in by the producer.
Yeah.
Hey, say this.
Because
Say that.
he's got the little earpiece in.
Yeah.
That's why they choose women as anchors, because the hair can cover the earpieces. So they.
Megan Kelly.
Megan Kelly.
Yeah, she was saying they were having a conversation about Halloween costumes, just like our last episode, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she said back when she was a kid, it was okay as long as the kid was dressing up as a character. And that's exact.
Really? Cutting grass? It's a little late for that, dude. That grass has been dead for a while.
And we're back. Still with the guy mowing the lawn. Sorry. Let's see if we can hear this.
Election, he hasn't been able to do it.
Yeah, again, like we had done reporting before we did this interview for the HBO show that we're doing on Sunday, and we had heard that he had talked to White House counsel about this. So I don't think they had planned on springing it before the election. I do think they want to do a ton on immigration. I do think that they want to send a bunch of troops to the border. I mean, think about it. We're sending 5,000 troops to the border. We already have 2,000 National Guard.
Better than Iraq.
We already have border control. We already have walls and fences and electronic devices, and yet he's very fearful about a caravan that looks like it's a month or two away. By the time it hits our border, it could be 20 people, it could be a couple 100 people, and politically I think he thinks that's a winner. And by the way, even on that one, I think he legitimately fears the illegal immigrants coming in through this caravan. Like, he watches Fox News. Fox News plays it over and over. They kind of play off of each other. They get each other riled up, and then what seems like propaganda or seems like politics becomes reality in the minds of a lot of voters.
Did you get the opportunity to, what was the length of the interview? I wonder if you got any opportunity to sort of challenge the president on some of the rhetoric that he's used, specifically using the word invader, which is also a word that the Pittsburgh shooter used.
Yeah, we had, we'll probably air the clip over the weekend, had a very, very, very tense.
How do you make that leap? Because it's not wrong. We were talking about this earlier. It's not wrong to call somebody who is entered a country illegally an invader.
But that was
a hell of a leap.
That's a stretch, man. I mean, I hope that your average, TV viewer, your American TV viewer, would see that and go, whoa, what?
Yeah. But
Compare that to
I bet you though, a lot of people aren't. I don't think a lot of people are questioning what media is putting out, and this is where I get aggravated with the media, because a lot of people take it as factual and fair, right, and truth based, but it's not.
I think it would be the opposite opinion of that. Like, it's kind of like Hollywood, the Hollywood elite, the movie stars and whatever. they live in a bubble, right?
Sure.
And I think the media in general live in a bubble. I think they live in such a bubble where they're always, I mean, Hollywood, they give themselves awards. The media, they
because
give themselves.
Nobody will.
Exactly. The media gives themselves awards, right?
Yeah.
They're voted on by their peers or whatever. They live in such a bubble that for people not to, like, have the understanding or that they do, or come to the same conclusions that they have, they think it's preposterous.
Yeah.
They actually think the rest of America is like this, and I don't think they are. It's kind of like the election map. You look at the
How
election.
was dominant red this past election?
Because, well, people that say she won the popular vote, they have
That's
no
not
idea
how it works.
exactly.
Yeah. Again, go back to high school and learn. Right, take a citizenship test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that want to get rid of the electoral college, okay, tell me what the purpose of the electoral college is first.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not to go against the public, the public vote or whatever.
People get what this bothers me. I remember when American Idol first came out, and there was more people voting for a show about singers and performance arts than people show up to vote for the goddamn president. People don't see a problem with this. There's a huge problem with this.
It's the circus.
And then people got way upset, right, when their person didn't win or make it to the next round of voting, right? And you're telling me that you would much rather have a popular vote determine the president over people who were previously elected and understand what the candidate should be? Like,
yeah. Yeah, but I don't think that, the election map, it shows all the blue spots were all the big cities.
New York, L.A., and unfortunately Miami's now one of them.
Memphis,
yeah.
Big Chicago.
Big, yeah. Chicago's always one, yeah.
The big spots, and that have most of the population of the United States. Everything else it gets in the country and rural, right?
Yep.
And that's where all the red was. So
because traditionally the red used to stand for, you do you, I'm gonna do me. That's what it used to stand for. And a lot of people, especially out here, we're kind of in a unique balance where we're living right now.
Yeah.
We get to experience, because where I live, we have a sheriff that we borrow from the next town over.
Yeah.
Because we fall in the same county sheriff. But the neighbors will have been like, hey, if there's ever a problem, we work it out before we call the law.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the way a majority of America works. Neighbors opening dialogue and be like, hey, you're pissing me off because you keep stepping on my property or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? You work it out and then you call the law if you need to. And it's the exact opposite in the bigger cities.
Yeah. Like getting the government involved is not a good idea.
Don't, yeah, exactly. You don't want the government involved.
Nope, you're not going to win. Even if you get a favorable,
Right.
You could win, but
and you just invite them to come in. Because there's stupid laws. I know, there's a law that you're not allowed to leave your pet alligator unattended in the state of Florida. Like, you're not allowed to tie him up and leave him unattended. Like, I say it's stupid, but it makes sense because it's a fucking alligator.
But who walks their alligators around?
Yeah, who has it? Yeah, right. Like I'm saying, so if you don't get the government involved, you don't have to worry about stupid laws like that.
Yeah.
Because, they may be coming to help you, but you broke the law also because you didn't know your tag light was out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Something stupid.
Exchange about that very topic with the president. And it was interesting, not to overshare on it, it's almost the more confrontational you got on the language that he uses, the more at ease he is. It's like he wants confrontation. He honestly believes, I walked away from that interview, he honestly believes that he has no responsibility to calm things down, to cool the country. And in fact, he argues the opposite. He argues that he has a responsibility to his people. He always uses the term, to my people.
My people are all Americans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is who's causing this huge divide and uproar? It's the media.
It is the media.
So
I was thinking about this the other day. Me and the wife were having a conversation. As long as people see those hyphens, right?
Yeah.
As long as they're willing to put a hyphen before American, we're gonna stay divided and fighting over bullshit all day, every day.
Yeah, it's like immigrants back in the day. They immigrated. They came to the U.S.
Yeah,
because the U.S. hasn't had open borders or an open immigration policy. It's been closed at different points in history. And when it was opened, the immigrants came through and they brought their culture, but they became American.
They left their old ways, yeah.
That's the big thing.
Me being predominantly Irish, right? I know for a fact that when my ancestors were here, there was like no Irish wanted.
Yeah.
So guess what? We're American. And we need those. I mean, I hate to say that, but we need that. When you show up here, there needs to be signs that say no Chinese, no Koreans, no Irish. We need those signs because we need people to identify as America.
You can be from,
Yeah, you can be proud of where you're from,
yeah. But you're American.
Yeah, you are American. Especially if you take a citizenship test and you work here, you pay taxes, right? You are an American.
Yep.
And that's what we need people to get into their head. Just because you're born here, I don't feel you're afforded those American rights, so to speak.
Yeah.
Turn things up because he feels like he's at war with the media. Despite winning the presidency, despite having the same favorable ratings he had 2 years ago, he feels at war.
He's at ease as the country is on edge. Jim Vandehei, thank you for this breaking news.
Is the country on edge? I don't know.
And we're not watching that because that has nothing to do with...
This has nothing to do with anything.
So, yeah. Anchor babies. It's not a big a deal as they want to make it out to be. It's not like he's going to take away people's citizenship.
Right, like overnight, you lose your citizenship. Like, they're grandfathered in right now if it was to change from starting today forward.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. I think it's a good policy right now. I think it's what we need to strengthen America.
But a lot of people don't see it that way. They
see it as an attack on the Mexicans.
They do.
And they try to play race. It's because... See, this is what Kanye was saying too earlier when our first podcast, right? It was Kanye.
Yeah.
It was instead of backing up your president and lifting him up, they're trying to tear him down. But so like, it should be the job of the president to look out for his American people.
Yep.
And do what's best for America because that's what he ran on.
Yep.
Just to make America great. I'm not gonna say again because I agree with Kanye saying is.
Yeah.
Let's make it great. That's what I think. I think this is a good policy I can stand behind. It's not popular because the media doesn't want it to be a popular opinion.
No. We need to let go of the past.
We need to do what Kylo Ren says and just let the past die. Let the past die.
Yeah.
You're a nobody. You want to see my lightsaber? It's really cool.
With my big chest. My big pectoral muscles.
He's a disabled vet too.
Is he disabled?
Yeah. He got into a bicycle accident, broke his back or something like that, and then they discharged him from the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me because I'm pretty sure if I was, like me being a disabled vet myself, there's no way in hell I would be doing stunts. Right? Because it would hurt too much, and two, they could look at it and be like, should we be paying him?
Yeah. Does he deserve that?
Hang on, is he
that rating?
I think his rating's okay now.
Yeah.
We're gonna revisit those.
Yeah.
Like,
how often do they revisit the?
It's like every 2 years, isn't it?
I forget. I'm so fucked up. They just go, "You're good."
Yeah,
I think when I was rated, if you total up all my percentages, I was like 450% disabled. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so fucked up.
I mean, you're missing an arm. That's pretty tough to say no to. Like.
Yeah, but
because finding a job for you is gonna be a little more
harder.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, like I told you when I first got out, I tried to be a regular mechanic, and whole 3 points of contact. I only have 3 points of contact.
Period.
So
yeah.
If I try to climb, I lose my third. So
yeah.
OSHA. Whatever. Cool. So I just went back to school, became a CNC machinist, but then I realized that. After I was CNC certified, after going to school and all this stuff, like starting out as a CNC machinist, I'd pretty much be a machine operator. So it's just like assembly line, but I'm standing at a machine, pressing
a button,
start, go.
Yeah.
And then once it gets done machining, I do the go, no-go check for it and throw it in the good part bin or the bad part bin or whatever, and I hit go again.
Yeah.
You know, I do that for 8 hours a day. And,
Oof, that's tough.
and you have to stand at well, you don't have to, but you stand at the machine. When I was going through school, they allowed me to like sit. It was a stool, kind of like these, but you know, shittier. And I would sit there, but I couldn't be up by the machine, close up to the machine, you know. I'd have to be just in arm's reach of the stop.
Stop button.
Yeah. And, yeah, because it was kind of a safety issue to being up close to the machine like that. If I have to get out of the way real quick, then, or someone else has to get out of the way. But, so after the CNC machining thing, I couldn't get a job of, you know, of what I wanted to do, which was more along lines of design. I'm not an engineer, right?
Yeah.
But so to start off in the design, the CAD software stuff, you can, you know, move your way up from, you know, just machine operator to doing
a smooth operator.
It's a good song.
Smooth operator. Yeah.
Sade.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it for this episode.
I hope it's worth watching.
Yeah. I think the tangents will be definitely worth it. If it's the tangents you wanna see, just be a dollar supporter on Patreon. I think it's patreon.com/FittyOE.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's patreon.com/Fitty-OE.
That's FITTY dash
Underscore.
Oh, underscore?
Underscore OE. We only got 3 patrons, and that's only $11.
That's just enough to buy batteries each month for the recorder.
Well, I got one of those USB power plugins. I'll just do that.
And then
Stop
we'll
spending money.
And we'll stop spending money.
Yeah. Then it's our coffee budget.
Yeah.
Monster budget.
That's not enough to make it through a month, though. We're so effed in the A.
Yeah.
But anyways, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share.
Yep.
Find us on the socials.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, SoundCloud. Speaking of SoundCloud.
Oh my God, woman.
I was like, oh shit, it's a remix. Speaking of remixes, this is
a nice remix, yeah.
Stranger Things remix.
Heavily influenced.
But yeah, if you guys like gun stuff, head over to
the other side of the channel.
The other side,
dark side. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
The dark side, Anakin.
50%. We're gonna start up production of both videos, the podcast here and the gun videos on Fitty.
Yeah.
Pretty heavy now.
So, yeah, we're gonna make this a full-time gig if we can.
Hopefully.
Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to join the conversation down below.
Yep.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
We did pretty good.
That was perfect, dude.
All right. Hey, good job.
Oh, man, that was pretty good.
It's like a proud dad moment right there. Car ran real good.